Hi everybody, this is Toffee bringing you the Plucker Guidance 1 and 2 of my Cerulean Crescent 100% growth LTC. The Plucker Guidance are a sequence you have to play if you have a copy of the Plucker's Gift item anywhere in your party. You cannot discard or sell it, but you should be able to lose it by putting it on a unit who gets killed off if you want to skip them. They're relatively simple maps that are mostly about telling Ellery's backstory with some supernatural elements thrown in. The first one is at least a little interesting, with us needing to break Ellery out and get her to an escape point. The prison complex is large and there are several candidate points, but we picked the one that's to the east since we can get to it the soonest. Ellery has the same base stats as she did at the start of the game and has the Fengyan, while Mince is the same minus his magic stat. The third character we have is the princess. She looks like that for story reasons I won't get into, but she has 6 move, Dazzle and Canto Plus, and can one-round basically any enemy here with either the Rapier or the Lance Reaver. Since Ellery sets the bound on this clear, LTCing this map comes down to how much we can accelerate her movement. We have predefined inventories, leaving Mince's Swarp as the most effective tool we have. Our plan will be to have Mince Swarp Ellery forward, use the princess to catch up with Ellery again, and Swarp Ellery a second time, with shoves to ease things along the way. Our first goal is to get the door to the prison complex open, and we achieve this on turn 1 by having Mince take Plucker's Gift and boosting Ellery forward so she can lead by example from there. This will let the princess get the key and Mince get the door open, which plays a cutscene and gives our party a turn refresh. Plucker's Gift was on Ellery, and we shoved the Myrmidon down to be a lead by example target. Something worth noting is that I'm playing through the Plucker Guidance to beat them, but one of the endings can technically be reached faster by deliberately killing off Ellery on this map, which can happen as soon as turn 1. I had a self-imposed all chapters clause, which I interpreted as doing as many chapters as possible prior to each ending, which obviated this, but it's worth mentioning. We rigged for Ellery and Mince to crit the enemies that went for them on turn 1 enemy phase, and also to make sure that Ellery dodged the attack. And Mince got Ellery her first Swarp. Notice that the cells in this prison tend to be 4 tiles across. This lets Mince Swarp across the width of a cell and will be relevant later. On turn 2, the princess donated her position to Mince and also shoved Ellery a square forward. Ellery took the Plucker's Gift for herself to squeeze out some extra squares and rigged to dodge the archer. On turn 3, we trade Plucker's Gift over to Mince and shove Ellery, and we will use the Axe Fighter who is going to show up on the right on screen to get off a lead by example to let Mince charge ahead. We once more rig for Ellery to dodge incoming attacks, and we also want both Ellery and Mince to crit incoming enemies to reduce later rigging. Plucker Guidance stats don't carry over, so I didn't bother getting my units to have 100% growths. On turn 4, Mince swarps Ellery across the wall, cutting out a lot of walking, and she'll walk down to 5 squares away from the seize point, killing a Myrmidon. Normally Wisp from our main campaign shows up 5 turns after we open the door to the main prison complex to help us out, but we're gonna beat the map so fast she doesn't show up here. Since these maps are self-contained, I didn't count this as missing a recruitment, but you can add a turn to the turn count here if you feel differently. That will be Plucker 1 in 5 turns. Plucker 2 is a much more straightforward map. The goal is to have Ellery seize a point near the bottom left, and the gimmick is that the map changes every single turn. However, we have Wisp right from the start of this map, letting us trivialize it. We will simply pick up Ellery with her turn 1, drop Ellery on turn 2, and have Ellery seize on turn 3. Rosetta and the princess are here, but they're irrelevant to the clear. We have to rig Ellery to dodge enough on turn 2 to survive. Wisp does effectively get a resurrection for the sake of the Plucker guidance, but again, there was no real application for killing her off earlier. And that will be Plucker 2 in 3 turns.